And let's look at what is that, you from a policy making, you have been a consultant, you have been an advisor at different points of time in various institutions. Now, how do we sensitize everyone? Like you said, European people, generally Europeans are very minimalist because nobody needs to teach them, because it happens because it's a lifestyle kind of thing. Now, applying the same logic to India, because I think at very young age it has to start. Therefore, what I have a question for you is that, do you think just to bring that awareness level to children, right from kindergarten, degree college, higher secondary or college level or postgraduate level or even research level, do you think, or do you foresee, or do you advocate a compulsory module on what is called as maybe urbanization, or let's say urban planning or urban governance, or whatever you call it, I mean whatever is the nomenclature that it is, so that people know exactly what it is, like the sensitive, we want to sensitize them to the idea of that what it takes to be a smart citizen, more than smart citizen, are you responsible citizen? So you therefore advocate where a small module, maybe bigger modules in, let's say, higher end courses like maybe UG at an undergraduate level or maybe postgraduate level. That's one thing. That's one question. And the second thing is that do you also foresee an exclusive course, just the way it happens in MIT? I've seen in Carnegie Mellon, I've seen it in Madrid, one exclusive institution which is Center of Excellence in only the Master of Science in Urban Planning and things like that. Yes. And they do a lot of research and cutting edge work. So do you see advocate these two things? How do we increase the awareness level so that from the children, very young age, people get sensitized to this idea of urbanization, and what are the kind of things they should be doing for themselves so that they can make a better living for other people?
100%. I agree 100% with what you proposed. I think it has to be somehow embedded into the curriculum, right from school days.
Exactly.
And I think children, we have seen practically that if a child has conservation in his mind,
right,
he's going to even insult his parents when they waste water or waste electricity, etc. And when a child shames you, I think you change your behavior.
Exactly.
See, what is the biggest challenge now is change in behavior.
Right.
People don't change behaviors. Like for instance, we found it a big challenge to make people change their behavior in public transportation.
Right.
For instance, even if there's available transportation, you would still like to take your car out. Because you're a growing nation, your aspirational values are...
Not just, I think one family has 10 cars.
Yeah, 4 to 5 cars. So,
very true.
So it's very important that children be sensitized,
right,
and then you incentivize their change in behavior as they become adults.
Right.
So
how do you do that? How do you incentivize them?
Oh, in many ways,
maybe give them credit.
Yeah, exactly. You give them credit, you ensure that...
you recognize them.
You must do that. In fact, in corporates, for years I've been suggesting that it should be a part of the KRAs.
Right.
Their community service has to be a part of KRAs. And what we are advocating is simple things like, they take up a project to make their own community better. And especially the city better. Then whatever we are talking about, the triple bottom line.
Exactly.
Like, triple bottom line, the environment, the people,
the profits and the planet.
And the planet.
Yeah.
All three can be addressed if they come in there, and it has to be a part of the KRA, mind you.
Right.
So that's a tough thing, but not really tough. Now, did we ever think corporate social responsibility will become mandatory?
Yeah.
It has become, right? So eventually, I think this piece also will become a part of, so responsible citizenry should be a cool thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Responsible citizenship
should
be a cool thing.
Right.
I'll give you a simple thing. I'm telling you, sometimes I think if we don't do strategic communication, not many people really understand. See, today, everybody talks about green buildings, but you know what is actually green? White is the new green.
Very true.
If you really make your homes white on the top, okay, you see how much of radiation will be less inside and less consumption of your ACs, fans, etc.
Very true.
It's just a matter of choosing the color properly.
Right.
Then there are a lot of indoor plants that actually absorb carbon dioxide and then maintain the indoor air quality.
Exactly.
It should be cool to have them in your house. Cool both ways.
Right.
So.
But I think, so do you also therefore see at least some pockets of society, maybe in some, maybe in companies, very futuristic companies like Infosys and blah blah kind of companies, or maybe Godrej and all this. Do you feel at least these kind of companies are taking some baby steps towards, sensitizing not just their employees, but also they are going beyond their mandated agenda to advocate this kind of issues to the larger public? Or you find no?
I'm not happy with any of their. Let's be,
Sure,
you may not like what I'm saying.
Sure, but
See, today, if you really look in the environment, it's really fashionable to do a big conference.
okay.
Everybody is doing a big conference. Everybody is,
Yeah.
everybody is only talking about it. But because practice is not cool, or practice is not really appreciated,
Right.
so they don't really, do that much.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever is associated with a little bit of glamour, like let's say wearing a hat and cycling to office,
Right.
that's there's a little bit of
Right.
so cycling groups and cycling tracks have been made, but carpooling still has a lot of challenges, huge amount of challenges.
Right.
Then but all these big companies,
Mm-hmm.
I wish they did more than
did more.
just talk
Maybe.
about.
I think your minimalist concept applies to Indian companies.
Yeah.
They do the minimalist kind of thing.
Absolutely. In fact, some of the companies I'm really shocked to say that they made me inaugurate certain programs, and year after year I was inaugurating them, but nothing progressed
No.
after that. And simple things like adopt a lake,
Mhm.
adopt a park,
Right.
all that have been like just lying on the paper.
No, I think I think that's really, I think a lot of things, as I can understand from you, are really wanting. I hope we will see that. But despite all this, do you also see some very positive trends in India? Maybe government side, maybe company side, maybe citizenship side, or maybe public advocacy issues. I mean, public advisory bodies like you. So, do you find some, at least some pockets, some?
Absolutely. In fact, I started being positive. I
Right.
said, look, don't judge India harshly.
Right.
I mean, we're going through turbulence, and we are going through rapid, it's like a teenager,
Right.
rapid growth. I mean, he's not expected to be, all proper, right?
Right.
I mean, he's learning and he's suffering
Experience
and he's
curve,
growing.
yeah.
So same thing is happening to India.
Mhm.
So I'm really not complaining about what's happening to India. Government is trying to get its act together.
Mhm.
Like for instance, there are first time I have seen that all political parties
Mhm.
in their manifesto included cities.
Very good, very good. I think that's a first thing. First step.
Yes.
Very interesting. And I think now that you have joined a big political party, I'm sure you would have your own say in taking this agenda forward,
In
right?
fact, I've been invited because they thought I will add value to their
Absolutely.
urbanization agenda.
Right.
They want to build 100 smart cities. So
Right.
we are trying to work on developing a framework for them.
This is absolutely, if I can rephrase this one with your permission, planned urbanization.
Yeah,
is
it
it right?
planned urbanization.
And then making cities also smarter.
Yeah,
Right. So I think so. You see some positive signs, right?
absolutely.
Great. Now, I just one more interesting thing is I think somewhere the research keeps saying that the 4 pillars of the so-called smart city. So first of all, you please define for us what account to is a smart city. Okay, that's one. And the second thing is what. And correct me if I'm wrong, these 4 pillars of smart cities, one is technology, other infrastructure, other one is extended communities. When I say extended communities, both the citizens and also corporate citizens. And the 4th one is the governance. So do you think these 4, if any city has got these 4 pillars right, I mean you erect them right in the right way, do you think it can get this smart city concept right?
Absolutely.
Right.
It's a when people ask what is the definition of a smart city,
Yeah.
I just say, a smart city is nothing but a city that is run efficiently, where
Livable.
citizens feel, they're happy to live.
And then
because they are-
sustainable.
Yeah, and they're, all the citizens are happy, healthy,
Right.
and, want to live in that city and become ambassadors of that city.
Okay.
So how does that happen? That happens when services reach on time. Let's say, there's power, there's electricity, there's good infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
Then the government is accessible to them. Then they can also partner with the government to take
Right.
decisions. So
Right.
that is where the governance framework, where it is participatory, it becomes participatory. And jargon wise, we call it the triple helix. We say triple helix is, and the government and the private sector and the citizens actually get together to envision for a city and work
Yeah.
for the development.
Mm-hmm.
That is what it is. So cities basically have to be efficient, they should be agile.
Mm-hmm.
And the 3 corners of smart city or sustainable city would be an economically vibrant city,
Mm-hmm.
environmentally safe city,
Okay.
and equity
The
oriented
public.
city. So
Very good.
equitable city
Right.
where you don't find slums juxtaposed with high rises, etc. So you want to clean them up as much as possible and make it look like an equitable place where
Right.
people don't have social tensions, etc.
Right, absolutely.
So when does it become smart? It becomes smart when we are deploying technologies to make all this happen.
Right.
That's the only difference. An efficient city can be really efficient without technology, but if we are deploying technologies, a very efficient city will become a smart city.
Very good.